Welcome back, finally, to Star Wars Nerds Unite. This is episode number 98, and I am your host, Tim VanAutreve. Joining me, as always, are Josh, internet famous, Mason.
Hi.
Hi, Josh.
How's it going?
I'm doing great today.
It snowed last night.
Did it?
Yeah.
Gross.
It did.
And it was 75 a few days ago.
I woke up at like 1 a.m. to let the dog out, and it was snowing outside.
That dog snow story was from Jennifer, your other host.
Hi.
Welcome back to the show. It's been a while since we recorded.
A long time.
6 weeks or so.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's been a real long time. Well, I'm sorry. We had a lot of stuff happen, whether we were busy with kid stuff or some kid was dying or
We were dying.
Nobody was
or
actually
school.
dying. We should say that. The kids got a stomach bug. It wasn't deathly
It could have been
in our
if
case.
we hadn't treated it properly.
Yeah. We had to go to the
had-
emergency room.
If Josh hadn't properly diagnosed it and treated it. WebMD. So what are we going to talk about today, guys?
Rubble block.
Is this-
Hashtag Rebels Block.
Is this season 4? The
Yeah,
start
we're
of
way-
season 4?
We're way back on season 4.
No, I'm saying our season 4.
Oh, is it? Oh, season 4 of Rebels
We
Block.
had our hiatus. So it's a new start of our season.
Oh, right. Yeah. Or maybe this still feels like... Actually, it does kind of feel like season 4. Yeah, all right, I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you.
It's season 3 of Rebels, right?
We're not talking about Rebels.
I know, but I'm asking also, since
Yes.
we should be talking about Rebels.
Yes.
We are going to talk about season 3 of Rebels, episode 8. We're going to be talking about Iron Squadron.
Fescue.
Yep. It's the 8th episode, 45th episode overall, and it aired November 19th, 2016, and it is February 20.
Oh my,
Yeah.
we are really behind.
We are extremely
That
behind.
idea I had of us watching an episode together and then immediately podcasting on it when it came out did not happen.
Well,
And is it not Iron Squadron? You said it really weird. You said Iron.
Yeah.
that's because I'm a weirdo.
Iron.
Okay, so it's Iron.
Yeah, it's iron.
Okay.
Whatever you want to say.
Okay. That's not usually how words work, but
That is kind of how words work.
however you want them
As
to
long
be.
as the other person understands what you're saying, it
Yeah.
doesn't really matter.
Josh
Well,
and
I wanted to
Josh and I are on a
clarify because I
wavelength,
didn't understand.
and my wife never understands me, but Josh does.
Are your
Wonder what that says.
sausage links like organic, gluten-free?
They are gluten-free. They're chicken.
Are those
Oh, they're still
free?
frozen.
It is
free
not
range?
frozen.
I just bit into a freezing
I'll
cold
eat it
part.
then.
Free-range goat sausage links.
Chicken, but yeah.
They don't have any carrageenan in them.
Yeah.
I have to-
Cancer-causing carrageenan. It's harder than you'd think
It's
to
really
find.
hard to find stuff that does not have it. Well, if it's organic, now there's a law that it can't have it in there anymore. But
Oh, man.
that just changed in October.
I buy my carrageenan by the tube.
Yeah, you probably
my
put it in
local-
stuff that doesn't even need it.
Yeah. Extra carrageenan. I just rub my pans with it.
That would make everything stick together. It's
That's what I want. I want my food to stick together.
Jenny, you were so confident about this episode that I think you should give the synopsis of what happens in this episode.
I was just confident about the word iron. All right, I can try to tell you what happened.
Why don't we give a state of Star Wars? Can we do that?
Usually we do that after we talk about the main topic of the day.
Yeah, but people have been waiting forever. They don't care about
We'll get to it.
Iron Squadron recorded 3
They
months
do.
ago.
They do.
Okay.
There's some guy just been waiting for our analysis of Iron Squadron. Somewhere.
There's been several. We keep getting emails. I feel bad.
Maybe you should stop eating strawberries.
Jenny brought them up, and I didn't get breakfast yet.
I hope those aren't a product of Mexico. They're going to get really expensive soon.
Oh my gosh. Jenny, where are these strawberries made?
I don't know. I didn't check that before.
It's somewhere in Central or South America.
Yeah.
We're going to have to just have avocados.
We should go
potatoes
and
from
open
Coxtimus.
a fruit farm in
Yeah,
California or Florida.
that's what we should do.
On the
Make tons of
BenView
money.
network, the one of the podcasts, one of the hosts has a peach farm.
Mm.
They own a peach tree farm.
Wow.
But that stuff grows like everywhere. Peaches grow in Michigan. They grow in Georgia. They grow in Washington and Oregon. They grow everywhere.
Look, I'm just telling you what is real. We have first world knowledge. They even have a podcast where they just talk about their lives as
Peach farmers.
Yeah. You should check it out.
How many people work on the peach farm? Is it?
I think it's
really
just the two of them. They have like maybe a part-time guy, if I remember right.
Wow.
I don't think it's very big, but it's big enough that they
We
make
have
money
some
on it.
berry bushes. You could say that we have a berry farm. We could start selling them to people.
I would feel unconfident calling that a farm. Maybe if we had
You could go to the
20
farmer's
times as many
market
bushes.
for one weekend.
And
Yeah,
then
we
wouldn't
could
get any
just sell it
berries.
to our friends and family and be like, we have a backyard farm.
So one of the people, Drew, you remember Drew? He sent us a letter.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He used to, when he lived here still, he lived on a property that was technically a farm. So he got, it's taxed differently.
Subsidies or whatever, yeah.
I can't remember the gist of it. But in order for him to maintain its farmness, he had to literally sell goods that he grew on his farm. So he grew corn and he would sell it at the farmer's market in Peoria. So
Wow.
I know of corn farmer.
We had corn too.
We almost bought a farm. Remember that?
I wouldn't say almost. We drove past a farm that was for sale.
Man, wouldn't it be neat to own a farm? Yeah. Okay.
We're
Jenny-
so close. It almost
It
happened.
did almost happen. Jenny wanted
We
it.
drove past it. We never even
I
went
even
on the
walked in.
property.
It was a foreclosed property, and there were tons of buildings on it. There was
Well,
like 5 buildings.
It was like, yeah, but
Where was it at?
it was off
It was
of,
right outside
it
Washington.
was off, it was on DMAC Road.
Oh, yeah.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't to DMAC yet.
The south side, though.
Yeah, south. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's
Right.
right over there.
South side.
Yeah.
Southeast.
The house was teeny tiny and falling apart though. It had like 2 bedrooms, and
But it had 4
was-
perfectly standing farming buildings.
Yeah,
where
So
I
you
could
would
have
just
kept. I could have kept
Keep the
my
children in the barns.
I could have kept my tractors.
There's many reasons
That's
why
the
this
girls'
deal
barn.
didn't
We
go
could have
through.
had
That's
chickens.
the boys' barn.
We could have had chickens and goats.
I have to tell you something.
Please.
I was driving yesterday or earlier this week with the kids, and that house right down the street by the railroad tracks on the right.
The one with the chickens.
Yes, I saw their chickens. I've been looking all the time to see if they have chickens still or not because I thought, well, maybe they
I
got
see them all the
caught.
time when I run
They
by
have
there.
chickens right down the street.
Yeah.
I think they're grandfathered in.
No, they're not. It's a law. I talked to the city people, and they said it's illegal. And if somebody has it,
You're supposed to
then
report it.
they said that they just haven't been caught. If somebody reported them, they would have to get rid of them.
Which is
So
crazy.
nobody reports it.
Why would
Well,
they?
I'm happy that they have chickens.
I know, but I want chickens.
So get them.
It's election time. Talk to your
That's right.
people getting elected. The alderman.
How do you feel about backyard chickens? That's what I want to know.
Hey, they shouldn't feel
I don't
anything.
care about the economy or the school district.
They should feel strongly that backyard chickens are allowed.
I don't know why anybody would be opposed to backyard chickens.
Because there's old people who don't want chickens in,
Yeah, they're
your neighbors.
loud. The
Only if you have
roosters
a
crow.
This is
rooster.
a
You don't
quiet
have to
old
have a
people
rooster.
village.
I want to have a rooster.
Plus, they don't like change. They don't want that crap around.
Whatever.
You guys want to talk about Star Wars?
Are we going to keep talking about
think-
urban farming?
I think we should just do this on
My
the podcast from
cousins-
now on.
My cousin's cousin has a chicken. Has chickens at their house.
Your
my
cousin's
cousin's cousin.
She's not my
has a-
cousin. My cousin's cousin.
Okay.
Not. I'm not
Isn't
in
that
any
your
way.
cousin once removed or something?
No, because they're not in any way a blood relative.
Okay.
Is a
My
cousin on the
uncle's-
other
my
on that
uncle's
person's
niece.
other side of the
Right.
family.
Okay.
And my aunt is my blood relative.
Got it.
Anyway, so they have a chicken.
They live in New Hampshire, but they have chickens at their house. They
Oh.
love it
It invalidates New Hampshire. Why do they
Where-
love it?
because they like having fresh eggs, and the kids take care of the chickens, and they like having chickens.
See? We
How-
almost bought chickens once.
What? Yeah, we really did almost buy chickens. That wasn't
Even though
like-
it's illegal.
yeah, because we
Well, we didn't know yet.
didn't know it was illegal because we see chickens all over the
Oh
place.
yeah, they're just crawling all over Washington.
One of Nora's best friends. She lives
Yeah,
in the
she has
neighborhood that
chickens.
we used to live in, but
Yeah.
they kind of have a big backyard. And they just bought chickens a couple years ago.
It's just under
And
Under enforced rule.
Yeah, they bought the wrong kind of chickens the first time. They knew nothing about chickens, and they bought a batch of chickens from like Farm and Fleet or something, and they're the kind of chickens that you're supposed to just raise to eat.
Yeah.
And then
so they
didn't have any eggs. So I don't know if they took them somewhere to have them or sold them, or like just took them somewhere to get butchered up. Chicken. But then they had to go back the next year and get real chickens.
Yeah. I have no interest in having chickens.
Where does Keegan have chickens?
Keegan works with me in IT at my job, and he does sort of his in-laws, his wife's mother and father have a farm in Pekin.
He has access to chickens. He does not
his
have
in-laws have chickens.
Yeah, and he's had to take care of them and stuff. So they have chickens. They have tons of eggs.
Keegan, come take care of our chickens.
Kinda. And they have horses. They have a bunch of horses. I think that's all they have. I don't really know.
Cool.
My mom had a horse recently, and then it died.
Oh, really?
It died?
It was like I can't think what they're called. Not a toy horse. They're called something else, but one of the short ones.
I knew that she had
it wasn't
a horse or horses.
Kind?
It wasn't a pony grows up to be a full-size horse. A pony is a child horse.
Because she was...
I thought that there was a breed that was called something pony.
I don't know.
Shetland pony?
Yeah. They're like little miniatures.
Like Lil Sebastian?
Yeah. Yeah.
What happened to her?
They just mascot like that.
They have lots of problems because they're not supposed to be little. They're supposed to be large land mammals.
Oh, it died because it was like...
It had like a heart problem.
Dwarfism or something.
Yeah. She wants to buy another one.
All right, let's just keep this conversation going. My sister's in-laws have horses, and her youngest sister-in-law was the one who really raised them and trained them, and she's like a really good rider. And one of the horses that they had for years had some, like, she jumped over something and was like impaled, and that's how she died.
Yeah.
It was like not that she got old or sick. She like had some really...
Horses have really weird problems.
Yeah, she had
like they twist their stomachs and then they die.
She had
and they twist their stomachs just standing up.
Dogs can do that too.
Yeah, it's crazy.
If a dog eats and runs around too fast, it can flip its stomach and it can die. It's like a medical emergency.
Yeah. Horses do that.
It's more common with bigger dogs.
Oh my gosh.
It's super weird.
But anyway, she was like physically impaled on a fence, like the most horrible tragic death for a horse. It was
like half of our listeners who live in cities and stuff, they're gonna think we're total redneck hillbillies.
Gosh. Yeah, but we're like all 3 persons removed from the actual animal.
That is true.
Anyways,
we're not hillbillies.
no, we're not.
You guys are closer to hillbillies. You have a garden and.
It doesn't work, though.
And we compost.
None of our food is edible. We had a sweet corn patch.
Jennifer? Maybe if you helped me in any way in that garden, it would be better.
I ate the berries.
I know.
I eat the berries right off the bush.
The berries that take no work.
Yeah.
Before I get a chance to do anything with them.
The corn we let stay on way too long, and it was horrible. The same with like the cucumbers. We let them grow and grow and grow, and they were like the size of a truck. And then we opened it up, and it's full of seeds. It's disgusting.
I know how to do it now.
So now we know how to do that.
Cucumbers. Yay.
I love cukes.
We had way too many cucumbers.
Yeah,
like we could have had
you need like 2 plants.
A 10th of that many cucumbers.
Yeah, that's everyone who grows cucumbers.
Well,
now when I go to the store, I'm like, do I want a cucumber? Oh, God, I don't know. I'm still so sick of them in my backyard. I have to like think really hard before I buy a cucumber.
Well, I know better next year. I mean, literally, we don't even need that big of a garden. We need half of what we're using.
Yeah. The spinach, when we had spinach and it grew right, it worked really well.
Yeah, we had to harvest that early too. If you don't jerk with it every day, it's going to get screwed up.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway.
Farm time's over.
I think I'm going to build some raised garden beds back there.
You've already got a raised
garden. We don't need any more room. You just said we don't even need the space we have.
But I think I'm just going to build like 1 by 8 high.
For what?
To do something with all my dirt. I got too much dirt.
That is definitely a hillbilly problem.
It is a problem.
How is that going to get rid of your dirt?
Because I'll be able to put the dirt
It'll
into
consume more volume.
Yeah, because it's higher.
Oh, you mean
A raised bed.
I thought you meant like the lattice thing where you have
No.
stuff like hanging off.
No,
of
I would
it.
have said that. We are 16 minutes in almost.
All right.
And we have not talked about
There's
Star
lots
Wars.
of pent up small talk.
That there is. Why don't you tell us about our Iron Squadron?
Iron.
Iron Squadron.
You sound like you have a speech
You might
issue.
Speech what, honey? A speech what?
Speech
impediment.
impediment or a speech therapy problem.
A speech therapy problem. At Joel Shepman, I tweeted that we were recording right now. #muster. And he said, best news I've heard all day.
The day's young.
That is true. It is very early in the day.
That loud noise you hear. So normally we don't record when the next door neighbors are in business. But
Well, this might actually be our workers downstairs.
No, it's not.
It's a
They're
truck.
at the home show.
No,
Yeah.
he said he might come Saturday.
Well,
I
it's
doubt
not
they're
him.
going to put Sam and the boys down on the show floor.
It's the,
Why
It's the
not?
people
They're
over at
super
there's a
professional.
chiropractic place next door. That's usually not open on the weekends, but it's open in the mornings on Saturdays. So they're open
there's
right
a
now.
parking lot right outside our window.
So you might hear cars intermittently. That's just people getting their backs pushed down.
I could use my back pushed out. Jenny, you keep delaying telling us about
You
this
guys are
episode.
talking about something else. Okay, this is called Iron Squadron. It's episode 8, season 3. I don't have any clue what had happened in any of the previous episodes
doesn't really
it's
matter.
been like 6 months since
doesn't
I've watched
matter.
one.
They've got
So-
their base. Ezra and Maul had the thing where they combined the holocrons, and they kind of know about Tatooine, but they don't know it's Tatooine yet.
And then what
And-
happened to Maul? I don't remember.
He ran off.
And then another question came up when I was watching this last night. Isn't Ahsoka, wasn't she called Fulcrum?
She was so. I don't know if we have found out yet, or if it's something we find out. Have we talked about the Ahsoka book yet?
No.
We
No.
haven't. So this is a mild spoiler for the Ahsoka book. We find out that Fulcrum is just a name they use for all their informants.
Okay.
So there are multiple Fulcrums.
All right.
But yes, Ahsoka was
the Fulcrum that they
the first
introduced.
Fulcrum that we were introduced to.
Okay. So this opens up with the Ghost crew. They're going on a mission to this planet. I don't think we've ever heard of it.
No, my cop.
Macapo. And there's the Empire is kind of closing in on this planet, and there's a group of people who want to evacuate. So their mission is to go in and help these people get off the planet safely before the Empire is completely taken over. And as they start to get close to the planet, there's this little ship who's fighting some Imperial ships. And
You know what it's called?
what?
The ship.
A cargo ship?
Called the Sato's Hammer.
Oh.
That
Okay.
sounds hardcore.
Yeah.
And that was his dad's ship, I think.
His brothers. Well, so
The
the
kid-
pilot, yes, the pilot's dad, but Sato's brother.
Yeah. So this was Commander Sato's brother's home planet, and his brother has died.
They're both of their home
Okay, I
planet.
didn't know that was his. Okay, this was their home planet. His brother has died.
Yep.
He assumes that that his nephew has also died because he never could get in touch with him after his brother died. But it turns out that his young nephew is the one that has taken over his father's ship and has been trying to fight the Empire on this planet since then. But the Empire is not really there yet. It's just little, I don't know what you call them,
Light cruisers,
little ships that are
transports.
there, and he fights them
Gazanti class cruiser.
by like dropping cargo on them like bombs.
Cargo bombs.
And he has a small crew that they call themselves the Iron Squadron.
It's
and
really
it's
just that one ship.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a squadron.
It's just that's what they call themselves. And there's 3 of them. The young guy, Sato's nephew, is named Mart, I think. He looks like he's about 15 years old. He's got real floppy hair. It
I
looks
think
like
he's younger.
he might be like 13. He has like Ezra's haircut before he got his haircut. He
Yep.
has like the floppy, messy hair.
He looks like a slightly older version of Sid the Science Kid,
Okay.
but less orange.
I don't know who that is.
He's a cartoon or something on Nickelodeon.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's on PBS.
Okay.
Okay.
So then
Shows what I know.
the other two members of the Iron Squadron, there's some type of alien. She looks like
She's a Zabrak.
okay. She's a Zabrak, and she looks like punk rock. She reminds me of Sabine.
Yep.
She's got a lot of colors like Sabine, pinks and bright neon colors all over her. And then the third guy, I don't remember his name. The third one is
You could call him Curly.
he's like the big, dopey,
Right.
fun-loving.
Gooty.
Gooty.
Oh yeah, Guti. He's just kind of a little bit reminds me of Zeb.
And they have an astromech.
And yes, that's exactly like Chopper. It looks so much like Chopper.
R3.
A little bit bigger, and its name is R3. So I don't know why they had to make them so similar, but that's the Iron Squadron, and they do not want to leave their planet. They think that they're fighting the Empire. They keep thinking that these tiny little ships that they're fighting are Star Destroyers, and they're obviously wrong. And so
Idiots. They're Gazanti class cruisers. They should know that.
the Ghost crew meets with them, gets on their ship, and introduces themselves and everything, and tells them they need to evacuate, and they don't want to leave. They try to convince them to come with them, and they won't. And so Hera,
Really, just Mart won't.
yeah,
And the other two
he
don't
kind
wanna
of
leave
has
Mart.
control of the other ones. Oh, and their ship doesn't have hyperdrive, so they literally can't get out of there. Even if they don't leave with the Ghost crew, they can't get out of there on their own.
Right.
So Hera's like, okay, fine, it's your choice. Let's get out of here. So then they leave, and while Hera and Ezra and Sabine go to try to convince the Iron Squadron to leave the planet, she sends Zeb and Kanan to go and get the rest of the planet.
We don't see them for
Yeah,
the whole
they're
episode.
gone and doing the real mission, which was to get the rest of the planet evacuated. So then Hera and they meet back up, and then Ezra just feels bad because he sees a connection with them. They don't want to leave their planet, and they're scared and everything, and they're all pretty young. So he decides, him and Sabine talk about it, and they decide they could go back and fix their hyperdrive and try to convince them to leave. And so Hera lets them try again, but they really don't have very much time. She makes them promise that if they don't want to leave, that they'll hurry up and get back out of there. And they fix the hyperdrive. It's just Sabine, Ezra, and Chopper at that point. They fix the hyperdrive, but the Empire is already back, so they don't really have very much time to get out. And
Mart really doesn't want to leave.
yeah.
He thinks it's a Star Destroyer again, and
Yeah.
he wants to attack it.
Yep. So then,
Everyone but Mart ends up leaving on the Phantom 2.
oh yeah, he does want to save his squadron. He tells them to get his friends out of there, but he still stays. So they all evacuate. Ezra says, "We'll come back and get you." And the Empire kind of shoots down his engine, so Mart is just stuck there. What's the blue guy?
Thrawn.
He has sent one.
Admiral Constantine.
He sent him by himself to come and take care of this problem. So he's there. He has. He sends a little. I don't know what it's called.
A light cruiser.
And
two Gazanti class cruisers.
To put on a mine.
Oh, you're talking about the TIE bomber. The thing with the two circles?
No, I didn't even know what they sent. I just know that they put a little bomb,
yeah.
a mine thing on.
Because they're trying to
his
set up
car.
a trap because they know the rebels will come back.
So they put this bomb on the ship that's just sitting there with Mart, and he's just like a sitting duck, just waiting because he can't do anything. So then they tell Hera what happened. They know they have to go back and get him, and they're talking. She lets Sato know what's going on, and he says, "I'm going to come back. He's my family." And she says, "You're too far away. We'll do it. We'll do it." So then they go back to save him, and everybody's like, "It's a trap." And they're
they being
like,
the Ghost crew.
yeah, they're like, we know it's a trap, but now we're together. They can't fight us or whatever.
We're a team.
So then the ghost crew goes to save him. They send Chopper and the R3 droid to disable the mine, and then they move the mine to
Cargo container.
the cargo container, and
Still
then
attached to Sato's hammer.
and
Then they dock onto
they
it.
dock onto it and they get attached to it. So then what's his name? The Constantine was
Admiral Constantine.
so he wants them to explode the mine.
Because that was the plan all along. They knew the rebels were going to come.
So once
When
they
the other
got
ship
close
got there, they
enough,
wanted
they
to
were
blow
going
them
to
both up.
so now they're going to do that, but they don't know that they've moved the mine. So they let go of their cargo.
Well, simultaneously, Sato shows up with his big curling.
Yeah, Sato got there
Corvette.
he only got there like 2 minutes after the ghost did, so I don't know how far away he really
Super far.
was. So then, anyway, he's there to help. They explode their cargo onto the Empire ship. They all get away as they're about to leave, and then a real Star Destroyer with the blue guy
Thrawn.
gets there. And then him and Sato have like a really quick conversation before Sato puts it into hyper.
All the rebels escape.
Yeah.
Yep. There you go.
So then
That's it.
that admiral tries to be like lie and say that he didn't call for reinforcements because he was screwed. He says, I just wanted to let you know that I've pushed them out of the
system.
system. But
The resistance
of course,
has been removed.
Yeah.
from the
Braun
system.
knows what actually happened.
You mean they escaped?
Right.
He says.
So,
There you go.
and then there's a little touching moment with Sato
10 minutes.
and Mart. Sato and Mart hug.
Just
Episode
go watch the episode.
What do you mean?
How do you remember stuff so well?
I don't know.
You remember like lines of dialogue.
Of course I do. I just watched it last night.
Huh.
Yep.
You're the one that asked me to do the synopsis.
I did.
I didn't want to.
So, do you know why their ship is familiar to some people?
It looks like the Millennium Falcon.
It's similar.
It's a YT 2400.
But more specifically, it's the same ship as the Outrider, which is famous in the expanded universe. The old one, the old EU.
What was that game called?
Shadows of the Empire.
Shadows of the Empire. That's right.
Dash Rendar famously piloted the Outrider. It's in the special edition of Star Wars: A New Hope, too.
Yeah, they added it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool looking ship. What?
And now it's blowed up.
No, it's not.
Well,
They got away with the
evacuated.
ship.
Oh, yeah. They had it attached. I forgot.
I wasn't a large fan of this episode.
Yeah, I mean,
I was a bigger fan of this one than the next one.
The next one was also not great.
This one was okay.
I just don't know. It's definitely a filler.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't.
It's a bridge episode.
No, it doesn't have to be a bridge. It can
It's not
just
bridging
be a nothing.
anything.
No, it's not. It is just filler.
I felt like the next one is total filler.
Well, the next one, at least they accomplished something, an objective. This one, they just kind of
They
saved
introduced,
some
they
people.
introduced us to some more characters, and they showed
They
another instance
accomplished
of
saving more
Thrawn
people.
being
Yeah,
smart.
but the people. Who cares about the people?
You never actually even see any of the people.
No,
they
you just
say
see their
or
transports.
you
fly
have
off.
no concept of how many people they evacuated or anything.
Yeah, it's probably like 6 people.
Oh, it was okay.
Yeah, it was just okay. That's a perfect.
I thought it was
assessment.
all right. Like, I thought it was a little weird that they made the Iron Squadron characters so similar to like Sabine and Ezra. I don't know.
I think that was intentional.
They had like the Goody guy. He had some super awkward lines and really like just goofball stuff. And I was like, why would they? I mean, it's an animated show, but it looked like awkward acting. I was like, they had to do this intentionally, but it seems so awkward.
I don't remember that.
Ah.
I wasn't so fixated on the performance of the digital actor.
Well, next time if
They
you
are a
ever
little
watch it
more
Of a
again.
side
rigid.
character that we'll never see again.
That was what I picked up on in this. But it was overall, it was like, okay.
I'm still coming down from that season finale from last year. And I just wish all the episodes were like that. I don't need these episodes. I just don't even want them.
I don't know what they're trying to accomplish.
They're trying to make a
TV
full
show.
season.
Yeah, it's a TV show that they're trying to
Make
make
the
just
season
like any
shorter.
other. Yeah, for real. Anyway, you want to lightsaber rate it, or do we have more? to
Oh,
talk
another
about?
thing, I don't remember if this was the first episode that shows this, but I do not like the weird eyeball, like the weird symbols that are on Kanan's.
Oh, his butterfly,
He's got
his Rorschach
His
butterfly.
mask. Has like tattoos on it.
It's like a Rorschach butterfly.
and
This isn't the first one that's shown.
I just haven't noticed.
It's always
it, I
had
guess.
it.
Yeah,
But
well, it's
He
had
didn't.
it this
He's
season.
changed.
It's had it at the end of last season.
No, it was a different design.
No, it wasn't.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure
It doesn't
is.
matter, but he's
He's
like
getting his phone out.
he's like not. It doesn't seem like he's blind at all anymore. It's
That's
like
'cause
he
he's
has these
figured out
things
how to use
painted
the
on
Force
his
correctly.
thing, and now his head goes to whoever is like coming. Like it's like there is no problem.
Maybe they didn't tell the animators that he's blind. He's just wearing a funny helmet with weird looking eyes.
I know that's what it seems like. I know that he uses the Force better now, and he doesn't. The vision problem isn't affecting him as much, but I think it should still affect him a little bit.
I'm sure it does affect him, but not
But
in a
you-
way that's relevant to show in the story.
Okay, it just
Like,
seems
should he
a
walk
pretty
into
big
walls
deal.
randomly?
Yeah. Sure.
That would be funny.
Well,
Oh, Kanan.
I agree that he shouldn't look at people when they talk. I
Why?
think. Because if you shut your eyes and somebody talks to you, you don't turn your head toward them.
Why not?
You
If you're
put your-
used to it from your whole life
You
of
put your ear
turning,
toward them.
if you're used to your whole life turning and looking at somebody, and then all of a sudden you can't see, why do you break that mannerism of turning to look at somebody?
I just think they
Because
should
that's
still.
what I do.
They should do.
Maybe I'm
I
a
don't
weirdo,
know.
but
You
it
are a
seems to me like I would turn my ear toward them as opposed to my face because I
Yeah.
don't need the ocular information.
Put on some blinders on your eyes and see what you do.
I have.
Yeah, that's
I put
an
on blinders
experiment.
all the time. I put on a blast helmet.
Okay,
I, for once, agree with Tim.
I don't.
I just think it's a little goofy that he's.
It's also a decorum thing. Like, if somebody's talking at you, you should look at them.
Except he can't. He has no
You
eyes.
can give the social cue
You
of looking
can.
at them.
You can point your painted.
It shows that you're paying
Butterfly
attention to what
towards
they're
their
saying,
face.
not ignoring them.
I don't think they're going to think he's being rude.
Why not?
He's blind.
So what? Social cues are big.
Okay.
Megan always hates it when I don't look at her when she asks me something,
You're not blind.
and I'm
You
not.
can't compare those two things.
But she'll always be, "Are you even listening to me?
Yes, it's rude if a normal person doesn't.
Why is it
not-
rude for
because
a
you're
normal
not-
person versus a blind
because it
person? If
shows
you're
that you're-
talking to me, what does the visual information
Because
add
the
whatsoever?
idea is that he's blind and he shouldn't be able to instantly know exactly where that person is and be
Sight
able
has
to
nothing
face
to do
them.
with tracking sound and figuring out what direction it's coming from.
Yeah,
It's a
but
social cue. That's all it is.
he could. It'd make more sense if he like turned a little bit too much and like like he's directly spot on every time. It's just, I think they should do something to. They made this huge deal about him becoming blind. It was part of their plot. So now, but now it's almost like they took it away. I just think there should be something in the middle where
It should
he's
affect
using
him
the
more.
Force and he is much better at sensing everything around him, but he should not have, he shouldn't be able to perfectly sense everything without
not?
his eyes. And then why did they even make him blind?
Because that way he would have to go through the trial of figuring it out
Oh, well,
and connecting with the Force.
I think
better.
it should be a little harder for him. He didn't try that
Does
hard.
Chirrut have problems in Rogue One?
He's been doing it his whole life, not for like
Oh my
2
goodness.
months.
Oh no.
And yes, he's like this. He's not like... You can tell it's not super easy for him.
Wish we had a video podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
Are we ready to rate this yet?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to connect to my Plex server so I can watch the end of that
Why
season 2.
do you have to do that?
Because why wouldn't I just look at the last 30 seconds of the episode?
Can't you
He's
just
trying to
Google it?
prove you wrong, and there's...
Let's see what Google does. Show me a picture of Kanan's mask at the end of the season 2 finale of Star Wars Rebels.
Check out these pictures.
I bet you it's perfect.
It showed me Darth Vader's mask.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe
Come on,
he's
Google.
Darth Vader.
I had more faith in you. You want to see what Siri does?
Well, so it got Kanan as Cadence. So like
Oh.
There's some pictures of Kanan in there.
there are, but none of his mask.
I'm prepared to
I'm gonna change it to
Rate
Kanan
this.
and see if it fixes it. Yeah, rate it.
4 lightsabers.
I was gonna say 6. It's not a terrible episode.
It's not terrible, but it's super boring. I was bored like the whole time.
I have no reference of when that picture came from, but that's the
That-
first one that popped up.
That
That
doesn't,
says season 3, though.
But that's the season 3 panel. So that's in between 2 and 3. They're talking about what happened at 2.
I don't think that's.
What's going to happen
I
at
don't
3.
think that was from season 2.
Man, it's almost like if I could just watch the episode, like the last 30 seconds, I could find it immediately.
I will give this a 5.5.
Just had to split the middle there.
Well, I was going to say 6, and I decided not to because you said 6.
God. That's such a stupid reason.
Well, somebody said that it was like my ratings didn't mean anything, so I don't want
Because
them...
you always did what Josh did.
That's not what they said. I don't know what they meant, but
That's what they said. They said
I don't
that you-
always do what he does. I say something and then he does what I do a lot of times. I think that maybe they were talking about the beginning anyway.
Okay. I'm going to do letters. This one is from our metalhead, famous letterhead, Casey Trask. He says, "Hey Tim, Jen, and Josh. Casey Trask here from San Diego. Just saying thank you for featuring my Star Wars guitar solo on one of your episodes a while back. That was such an awesome surprise and totally unexpected. Saw Rogue One 3 times already, and I gotta say it's beginning to be my favorite Star Wars film so far. I love all the little Easter eggs they plugged into it, and I can't wait to start reading Catalyst. It's sitting on my shelf. I just have to finish Star Wars Battlefront Twilight Company, which is also an awesome war-type depiction of the Star Wars universe and a really cool read. Thanks again, you guys. I listen to all the new episodes as soon as they come out, as long as it doesn't spoil anything. I haven't gotten to like the Catalyst episode. You guys rule." And then he gives the metal hand symbol via emoji.
Emoji, yeah.
Hope you had an awesome holiday season, and I'll let you know if I'm ever coming through the area with one of my bands, and maybe we can meet up for a bit and have a bite or a drink. Casey.
Sounds fun.
It does sound fun, and I'm into that. We should do it. Is the Star Wars Battlefront books, those are just based on the game? That is
They're
not
like
in canon, or what?
They're kind of a sort of story that leads into the game, but the game doesn't have a story, so but it's canon.
Really?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah. I haven't.
I'll have to Google what
Haven't
that
read
is.
it.
I don't know what the deal is with those. But yeah, Casey's awesome. He posts stuff all the time on Facebook with him shredding with his bands. And you guys should check it out. You can Google him and find him pretty easily. He's famous. Super famous. We can drink anytime you come through Peoria, bud. For real. I would love to go to a metal show. You could wear your new leather jacket, Jenny.
Yeah. Perfect.
You better get your tattoo before that.
Maybe I'll just do like
What is
a
it? It's like
temporary-
2 latex gloves and they're holding hands.
Are you
What?
talking about his idea?
Yeah.
My idea? No, it's my gloves that my grandpa gave me. Well, I took them after he died, and they were like work gloves, and they didn't fit me at all. And like I wore them and I broke them in to where they fit me perfectly, and I used them every time I worked on stuff. Like when we were doing all that stuff in the East Peoria house, I like wore them for everything, and I wore them through working on every house or every project I've ever worked on. So like I learned how to do all of the manual labor stuff that I know how to do and improvements and whatnot using those gloves, channeling my grandfather through the gloves. And so they're worn out now. Like the finger holes are worn out of the ends, so I can't use them to actually be gloves anymore. So I wanted to commemorate them. So I thought a tattoo would be appropriate, because then I can have them all the time. I can wear them
On
all
your
the time.
hands.
He's going to tattoo gloves.
That's not what I meant.
You're always working.
We should have a tattoo vote. You want to have a
Good luck
vote
with that.
on the air? After my story, my heartfelt, warm story, you tell me whether I should do #gloves or #no gloves. And I'm doing it on the inside of my bicep, not on my hands.
You could do #no tats as well.
#no tats. All right. Here we go. This one's from Coxtimus, avocado grower extreme. He says, did you guys hear about the Star Wars Museum? Well, apparently they had plans to put it in Chicago, and now it's coming to Los Angeles. So, suck it, Illinois.
I thought we talked about this one already.
We did a long time ago, I think. Chicago's so stupid.
It was because they didn't want to give up the parks, the green space. So there was a group that was protesting, letting them build a building on the park.
It wasn't just that. It was they were like going to be in the way of some view of the buildings and stuff that were on the other side of Michigan. So that was
He's
the
saying
protest
Lake
too.
Michigan, by the way.
No, I'm not. I was talking about Michigan Avenue.
Oh, okay.
Like the view from the
So I
people
thought it
on
was
Michigan
going to be
Avenue.
down on the south end by Museum of Science and Industry or by UIC.
Yeah, but that's still Lake Michigan, and they're still
Right.
looking east toward the lake. So there was a blocked view
Right.
at that point. There were multiple protesters.
That's Lakeshore Drive. That's not Michigan Avenue.
No, Lakeshore Drive's further east.
I don't think it is.
Yeah, Michigan goes straight down in.
I don't think it does. Geography. We'll have to go look up our geography.
Whatever. Maybe I was thinking it was further north, I think, than you're saying. Whatever. Doesn't matter.
The
We
locals
failed.
didn't want it.
We failed. I wanted it, but I have no say.
We don't live in Chicago. Alas.
All right, here we go. This is from our buddy Chris Kalwa. He says, hello from the currently icy planet of Hoth, aka Canada. Star Wars nerds, I have recently been listening to your podcast, which I found on Spotify last week, while trying to find something to occupy my time at work. It's a gas station, so think standing or walking around for 8 hours a day. It was a great find, as I've already listened to roughly 30 episodes. There are a lot of things you guys are doing well. I love the dynamic between the three of you, ranging from relative noob Jen to the mind that is Josh the Tosh Mason when it comes to almost every topic. And of course, Tim is probably one of the most easily relatable to the common Star Wars fan, and I like how he keeps the balance and podcast moving. Even if his intros are occasionally long-winded. Ha ha. Thanks. Before I become too long-winded, like the failure that is Tim, I ad-libbed that part in. I just wanted to say that this podcast was a great find, and I have really enjoyed listening, catching up.
What is that noise?
It's spam on my phone.
Jeez Louise. Really enjoyed listening, catching up, and I'm looking forward to more new episodes. Keep up the good work. A new fan, Chris. P.S. I don't know if anyone has said this or mentioned it, but if not, how has no one come up with Josh Tashi Station Mason? If it was Joshi Tashi Station Mason, that is better. Joshi Tashi Station Mason. I love that. That's really good.
What is the station part?
Tashi
Tashi
Station?
Station is from... It's a place on Tatooine.
Okay.
It's where Luke was going to buy some parts.
Pick up some power converters.
Yeah.
I see.
We confirmed that in the episode at the end of season 2, he doesn't have the brown
It's
face
just like,
mask thing
it's
yet.
like
It's
the
just
white
like a gauze.
bandana
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah. Thank you.
He
So
had
I was
like a
right.
headband.
So Chris and I replied to Chris, and he sent a follow-up email that's pretty long, so I'm going to read it. He says, thanks for the quick reply. I'm sure you're really busy. I'm glad you appreciated the phonetics, although on his name. Although I'm sure you would have done better than some people before. The worst so far has been Collingwood. I don't know either. Yeah, for real. People on our last name, like, add in letters. Like, it's like they read the first consonant and then like a consonant in the middle and then put in whatever they want. They'll say Van Antwerp. I was like, there's no P in my name. Like,
My Dr. Brady used to introduce me to all the residents as Van Otten.
yeah. It's like they don't even bother finishing the word.
He introduced me to like whole groups of people with the wrong name.
Yeah. Don't change your intros on my accord. I had just listened to a podcast where you were given a hard time for saying too much. The first one I listened to was your review of Rogue One, which got me hooked. For whatever reason, Spotify plays the episodes in reverse order. I'm sure there's a way to change it, but I don't mind as I've watched all the Rebels and Clone Wars episodes available, and even though I do collect and read comics, I never added any of the Star Wars ones to my poll. So listening to things like the book reviews and comic reviews are my favorite part. I did scroll through and find the few episodes from Kanan Block, hashtag Kanan Block, so I could listen to it in order, and we'll probably do this anytime I get to comics, so it makes more sense. Again, thanks for the quick reply. I can't wait for the next episode. Well, you had to.
Yeah.
Long time. 6 weeks. Thanks again for this other email.
At least he has backlog to listen to.
Yeah, but he probably burned through it if he did 30 episodes in a week.
Yeah.
I hope that you didn't stop listening after you got toward the beginning of the show. It's kind of like watching a regression. It's probably not good. Next up.
People are used to that with podcasts. Like,
Are they? Where
Things evolve.
They totally suck at the beginning.
I don't think anything totally sucked other than Caravan of Courage.
Our first episode was awful.
Well, what
wasn't.
about the second
was-
time we did the first episode?
It was much better.
What about the third time we did the first episode?
If it still sucks, then that's your problem.
Well, it was better than it was. Here we go. This one is from Drew. He says, SWNU crew. So I made it to episode 79. I'm getting sad that I'll be caught up to real time and will not have the podcast at my fingertips for my listening pleasure whenever I feel.
This is Farmer Drew I talked about earlier.
Yeah. I have pages of notes which I left in my other car, so I'm sending this off the cuff. One major improvement has been the audio. I can't remember the last time it irritated me, so congrats on that. That excludes Mason's flu episodes. Nothing like having him blow his nose in the mic. Oh my gosh. You don't know how much rage I had from that. You need a mute button when he decides that, but you know that. I do know that, and I don't have a good way to mute it with the mixer that we've got because it's way over there, and there's actually not a mute button on each individual
there's
mic.
Just, rotary knobs.
It's almost like I need I don't know. I tried a different mixer board, but it wasn't going to work for other reasons that would have had a mute button, so we could have muted better.
If anyone has an old mixer board they're not using and they want to send to us.
We could put it in between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we could use fader sliders. And
Well, we'd have to have that other mixer board would have to have
XLR,
at least
right?
3 line outputs.
Right. So you have
Well,
separate channels.
Most mixer boards only have
one.
Yeah. They'll have 2, but it's for stereo.
Right.
So, yeah, we'd
We
have to
use
have
this weird thing that's hooked up through USB.
Yeah, it's a USB mixer, but it's not like a regular mixer board, and it
doesn't have
presents
faders or sliders. Or
presents as a multiple audio channels to your computer. So it actually works really well for the way we record. So I can edit out when Jen cusses all the time.
right.
What?
But
You get to edit a lot more than you think.
but yeah, it's not a standard mixer. It's almost like we need something in between that we can just mute, like a mute button. Maybe you should design that in your
Just
electrical engineering.
I mean, there's lots of easy ways to do that.
Okay.
Just takes time and money.
You could just turn around when you blow your nose instead of
Or
right
I
into
could
the
just
mic.
be normal. It's like they're having a conversation with us in the room.
Yeah, but when you hear someone blow their schnoz on a mic and they're normally just talking, it blows your eardrums out. Anyway, he says, I've thought about getting on Twitter to talk with the crew, but fear of proving Mason right is keeping me away. I suspect it is like a bulletin board at a community center and will be terrible, so I will just stay away. Twitter is not bad, Drew. It's fine. We talk about it all the time.
All the time.
It's not that. It's not
terrible.
good.
I don't remember much of my notes, but I remember Jen had me cracking up somewhere in the episodes in the 60s. More to come when I get my notes back. I was listening and had a science corner for Mason. You ready?
Sure.
If diesel fuel and gasoline can deteriorate in storage tanks, can natural gas, assuming the tank is good?
I don't know enough about that chemistry.
Oh, man.
That's not me being wrong. That's me saying I don't know.
Yeah,
Wow.
you're just ignorant. It's no
Exactly.
nothing to be ashamed of.
I've never heard of, because most of gasoline going bad is like stuff
breaking down.
precipitating out, not breaking down. Gas is a mixture.
Yeah.
The stuff we buy, especially the big problem is they put ethanol in it.
Why are you wearing those gloves?
Because my hands are cold.
You have a t-shirt on.
So
and your hands
what?
are cold?
Yeah, my arms are not cold. They're quite comfortable. My hands
Because his hands
cold.
are gloved. See? You should get a glove tattoo.
Exactly. They've got ethanol in it along with the gasoline, and the ethanol and gasoline they unmix, and the ethanol is like sludgy and
Yeah, it
bad.
gets thick, right?
Right.
Yeah. So natural gas, though, I would assume that it doesn't, unless it's part of it leaks out of the tank.
So natural gas is a mixture of things. It's not pure because we just take it out of the ground, and there could be lots of. It's not pure methane. It's got other stuff in it. So, but I don't know. I don't know if most of it's stored as still gas, not LNG. So I don't know too many gases that just sort of break down or do anything that strange.
Yeah.
They'll unmix and they'll get to homogeneous blobs of gas. So they'll separate, but I don't know that goes bad per se.
I have the rest of his email has a question for Jen, but since she ran away,
She just ran away.
I'll go to his follow-up.
Probably
email.
to go get some gloves.
We asked him, or I think we asked him what was so funny, and Drew says, I can't remember the episode number, but there was one when Tim was laying down the smooth jazz voice. It made me feel awkward. I was glad you, Mason, called him out. Then he stopped. What was wrong with my smooth jazz voice, Drew?
I don't think that's your smooth jazz voice.
I think it is.
I don't think it is.
I don't think I could be much smoother than this.
You've got one where it's less intentional that you think you're being smooth. This is you intentionally trying to be smooth. It's different.
I think my voice might have. I remember recording a couple episodes where my voice, like, I had kind of a sore throat, so my voice is a little deeper than normal.
Yeah.
Waiting for Jen to come back. I have a really good question for her. I should just read it and then have her answer it right when she comes in without knowing what the question is.
What is the question?
He says, also, I rewatched all of the movies, getting ready to watch Rogue One in the theater, but now I can't find anyone to go with me. Is it weird if I go by myself?
He ended up going with, he was back in town 2 weeks ago, and he ended up going with one of our coworkers.
The movie's still in theaters?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So that question is for Jen. As I know, Tim and Mason's views are tainted by their love of Star Wars. I would go to any movie by myself.
I have never gone to a movie by myself.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Oh, it's awesome.
I have no desire.
It's incredibly relaxing. Whenever I go to...
It's less relaxing than my house. So I would just stay at my house.
I don't go to...
The goal is to be relaxed.
I don't go to a lot of movies, and I go to even less now the older I get. Like, it's literally limited to, like, Star Wars movies, and that's about it.
It's a bathtub curve, because as soon as you hit about 55, you're going to go to so many movies, it's going to be ridiculous.
I don't think so. I'm not...
Old people like going to movies.
From that generation, though.
I like going to movies a lot.
Yeah. You had a question on this letter, but you weren't going to answer it.
Well, you guys were talking about methane, and I had to get some more coffee, so I thought it was a good time.
Drew wants to know if it's okay if he goes to the movies by himself.
I emailed him back.
All right. Could you say the answer for the rest of the people who listen to the show?
I thought Tim might just want to read my email. So I don't remember exactly what I said to him, but I know I emailed him back.
I'm not asking you to quote your email. I was just expecting you to give a GD answer on the air. I
actually really like going to the movies by myself. I've done it a few times. It's not weird. I feel a little weird. So it's not like I would like go to the movies by myself all the time, but the few times that I've done it, it was awesome. You can sit wherever you want.
You could sit wherever you want anyways.
No, you don't. If you were with a group of people, you're like, oh, where do you want to sit?
No, I sit down where I want to sit, and then everyone sits with me.
Well, not everybody is like you, Josh. Usually you have to like go like
There's no negotiation.
Yeah, you have to negotiate with the group. Where do you guys want to sit? Oh, is that okay? And then you're like, well, then it's like if there's a big group of you, you don't get, even if you go to the row you want, you might not get the seat you want. You might be stuck in between two other people. And then every time you have to get up, you have to knock over their popcorn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, if it's something
Make sure that they leave the popcorn right in the middle of the walkway too.
if it's a really good movie and something that you really want to go to, I would not let the fact that there's nobody else available to go to it stop you. It's no big deal.
It stops me.
I would do it.
Next letter
The deal breaker
is from Michael Young. Mike, he calls himself. Titled, subject, the official title for Star Wars Episode 8 revealed. Hello all. The title of Episode 8 has been released. That was January 23rd. One of the more interesting parts is that the subtitle of the press release states, announcing the name of the next film in the Skywalker saga. I don't think the Star Wars films have been referred in official circles as the Star Wars or as the Skywalker saga. Current rating 13 out of 10 exclamation point.
I've seen it called that before in other.
I don't know if it was official.
Yeah, I've heard it might not have been like a press release, but I think at the last celebration, like when they did the big panel for Rogue One, I think I've heard it stated by people in positions of knowledge.
I responded back to him telling him I hope to someday understand his rating system, because remember he's the one that rated like some of the Star Wars movies incredibly low and other ones incredibly high. And so I said that I hope someday to understand his scoring system. And he very quickly and succinctly explains it. He says, have you ever turned your radio up to 11? It's 1 more than 10. I am psyched for the movie and give it a 13. That's 3 more than 10. Mike has more snark than I think any one of our other listeners. Love it. He says, help me remember, wasn't there a book or graphic novel with the same title? And I said, there was indeed, and it wasn't long ago. It was only like 3 or 4 years ago, right before we switched to the new canon. It was called Star Wars The Last Jedi. Yep. That's it. That's all I'm going to read today. We're an hour into this episode.
Well, we need to talk about that news since he brought it up. So what do you think about the title, Jen?
I think it's, I don't know, kind of depressing. I don't know.
Why is it depressing?
Because it
implies the end.
Yeah, it insinuates that there's not going to be any more Jedi.
Not necessarily.
It says the last Jedi, right? Isn't that what it's called?
Maybe these are just the last of the current.
Right. It could be a statement of fact, not a projection into the future.
All we know is that at least Jedi is plural.
Yep.
For sure.
And we know because foreign languages don't have weird plurals like English does.
That's right. So on the German movie poster, they used the plural version of the word Jedi.
And all the foreign Italian, it's been Polish, so confirmed multiple times.
I only knew the German one. So for faux show.
So what's your lightsaber rating of the title?
I don't know anything about
13
it.
13 out of 10?
I mean, it's literally just 3 words.
13 out of 10.
The Last Jedi. It's a title. What's your
4.
rating of the title? A 4?
Mm-hmm.
Man. Not sold.
I'm going to go 9 lightsabers.
I
love it.
said 10.
Wow.
I love it. It's great.
Why do you like it? Because it's
simple and it's mysterious and it's powerful.
Yeah. It is mysterious. I know that.
Yeah.
It's ambiguous.
Yeah, but that's cool. It builds even more mystery and build up.
Okay.
We didn't announce on the air we're getting an exchange student.
Don't be talking about her name on the air.
Wasn't going to.
Okay.
Why are you getting an exchange student?
We wanted to because it's cool and we have a lot of culture to share in our house.
Yeah, okay. Where are they going to sleep? In the bathroom?
In one of the girls' rooms or in that spare room downstairs that we're building.
Yeah,
we don't know yet.
The dungeon? The slave dungeon?
No, not the room they're building right now.
I know what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah, not the slave dungeon. Good
Just
Lord.
black out that window and it's a slave room.
No, it's not.
It's
There's
the
3
nicest
windows
room in the
there.
house right now. Well, it'll be. Hopefully, it'll be nice
So
when
when's
they're
this
done.
foreigner showing up?
August.
Beginning of August, and then
Doing the full year or just a half of the semester?
10 months.
Why did you come up with this idea?
I don't know, Jenny. Why did you come up with this idea?
I think I have always thought it was cool. And then when Nolan went to Europe last summer, he stayed with a Scottish family for a few weeks, and I thought
Right.
that was really neat. And then I don't know. I've just been thinking about it, and I keep hearing good things about it. And then once the chick got her hooks into me and started sending me profiles of all these students, it was kind of like game over. I was like, oh, they sound so cool. We're getting a 14-year-old. She'll be 15 by then, I think. But
Getting. Like it's a possession.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
You're hosting.
Okay, we are hosting. I don't think I'm going to own her.
Getting is a possessive.
Okay. She will
English
be
is a tricky
visiting
language.
It
our
is.
home. She lives on the border of Germany and France. So
Sure.
she speaks French also. She's had 5 years of French and 5 years of English already. And
What town?
I'm not going to tell you. She lives in a tiny village. I'm not going to tell you.
Why?
Jenny is weirdly private about certain things.
I
She
don't know
doesn't-
if her family wants the internet to know. I mean, we have
That
I'm not
somebody
gonna-
lives in a town on the French-German border?
I'm just not going to.
You don't have to say her name. I'm saying what town.
There's probably not a lot of foreign exchange students from that town.
Okay.
And everyone in that town listens to this podcast.
the town, it doesn't matter.
It's a tiny
It
little
matters to me.
farming town. I'll show you the letter later.
All right.
And she skis. She's like a little ski instructor for little kids. She sails on the Mediterranean Sea. She plays the guitar.
She's way better
She's a
than us.
gymnast.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, we don't have.
Is she going to maintain her gymnast?
I was gonna
Practice
offer.
here?
I was gonna offer to see if she wanted to, because we have a gym in Washington.
We the reason I brought it up at all was because we can take her to Star Wars. We can take her to the release,
Oh
she wants to
stand in
go.
line with her and stuff,
Yeah.
so she can get the true American experience.
Yeah.
4 guys in a line.
Yeah.
Last time it wasn't as cool.
8, I think, will be more hype.
Yeah, definitely will.
All right.
August. That's a long time to wait.
She emailed me this morning. First time.
Yeah, Jenny's super pumped. She woke up and the first thing she did was go, "Oh."
Ooh, my new pet sent me an email.
Whatever.
We should send her a link to this episode where you talk about her.
I don't
like
want
she's
to
a
turn her
possession.
off
Just kidding.
Yeah.
from coming to America.
Oh, she'll be more excited.
My aunt has hosted exchange students twice.
The one that gave me a C in.
No, not Aunt Barb. Aunt Laura. Brian's mom. The ones that
Oh, okay.
used to live in Washington.
Do they like it?
Yeah. They liked it.
What countries were there?
Switzerland.
Oh,
Well, their last one, Michael, was from Switzerland.
Der Schwitzen. That's how they say it, right?
I don't know.
All right, guys,
And
that's it
then
for today. We have a ton
one
more
from
letters.
Spain.
We have a ton more letters, and we have a ton more episodes to talk about. And we have not done a comic book in like a year.
I miss the comic books.
I do too. I want to go
Mhm.
back.
Plot a course of things to
Well, it
read.
doesn't matter what we plot because we've proven
Well, the thing
that at
is
this
we
point.
I haven't read them in so long.
I
Like,
know.
I have to know which ones we need to read.
Yeah, we just got to go back and look.
Right. So plot a course. That's what I'm saying.
But
Pick
I think
something.
we should do whole story arcs now.
Right.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Like no way should we do individual issues. So I know we started like the Obi-Wan and Anakin.
We
We
only
did like
had
the first
one.
episode of that. So we should just do the whole miniseries, and same thing with Poe Dameron. We should do the first story arc of that and just continue on. And I dropped all my comic books. I don't buy comic books anymore. So I'm going to buy them as
Digital.
trades.
Oh, you're gonna.
So
buy
as
the
they
trade
come out,
paperback.
because Marvel changed their program. If they wouldn't have done that,
What changed?
they made it so that the digital codes don't give you a digital copy of the book you're buying anymore.
What does a digital code do then?
It gives you other comics. You get a choice between 3 other
Seriously?
comic books. Yes. It's so dumb. I got so mad I dropped every Marvel comic I had.
I would too. I would.
Well, maybe they figure like if you're buying one version of this book, it's more beneficial for you to have a version of a
No,
different
the reason they're
book.
doing it is because people would buy the physical copy and then sell the key online, and so they think they're losing sales.
Yes.
But the reality is people just won't buy the book at full price
Right.
digital. If they don't have the option of getting the $1 version, they're
They just
not going
won't
to
buy
do
it. Right.
I wouldn't buy a comic full price online.
Right.
Especially, for $4, it's crazy.
Right.
Anyway, it made me mad, so I dropped him, and then I ended up dropping all my other books too, just cause.
Yeah, I haven't bought either in a long time.
I thought you had a pull list.
I did, but then I stopped
Oh, I
because
didn't know that.
we stopped reviewing stuff, and like it just started being
A burden.
a pile. That
So you get to just do trades, like when we actually do them.
I guess
Okay. All right. Cool.
I like
I was
trades
thinking we
better.
should just have one digital account and just buy them.
Tim already shares his digital account with like 100 people.
Shh.
Tim shares his digital account with no people.
Yes, he does. Just not you.
You're not playing the game right.
Okay, what's the game? Tell me the
You're a
rules.
dummy. We're a popular podcast. I'm not going to publicly publicize that.
Not only that, a Marvel employee we know
It's not like you're selling
putting him
it. I'm
in
not
a
saying
bad
you're like
decision.
making money
is
off of
breaking
it.
the EULA.
Okay, whatever. I don't know.
It's
what
the
any of that
entire
means.
premise of why they're not giving digital codes anymore.
Well, it's your.
Because
I
they
guess
think
it's
they're
your
losing
fault.
sales. They think they're siphoning off their own profits.
And I guess they were right, Tim. It's your fault.
Well, whatever. All I know is that. All I know is I'm mad.
I agree. I am mad too. I
All
didn't
right.
even know that, and I'm mad.
We got to get out of here. Jenny and I have to go. She has an appointment at noon.
To meet
Oh yeah,
your
you have to get your car.
exchange students.
No,
You gotta pick out the
Jenny-
furniture.
Jenny has to go get Botox or something.
No, whatever.
What are you doing?
I thought we had to go get your car.
No,
You said you have
Why
to-
are you driving around a Corolla?
because I got rear-ended. That was another thing that made us not record.
Yeah.
Like I got rear-ended and like the side of my car got all bent over, and so they had to repair it, and it took them forever. So I've had a rental
Where did you
car
go
for
to
like
get
3
it?
weeks.
Repaired.
D's Auto Body.
That's where I was gonna go there for my car, but they just take too long.
I went there because I know the guy that owns it.
Yeah.
I know actually D,
Yeah,
and so I wanted to give him business.
sure.
And then I kind of regretted it because it took forever.
You've had it for like a month. It seems
It's
like.
been a long time. Yeah.
And their insurance is paying for the rental?
Yeah.
Or D's is?
The insurance is paying
Yeah.
for it. But I just,
My stepdad just got, he's not rear-ended, but something happened where he had to go to D's. And it's been there twice in like the last 4 months. He got it fixed and then he got hit again.
dude, I got
He
hit.
got hit.
I got
he got
twice in
hit
the same
twice
week.
before he had a chance to get it fixed.
first.
I got hit and then I was stopped. It was both times I was completely stopped. And the next time I was on Pioneer Park about
Yeah.
to turn right onto Knoxville.
Yeah.
And I was stopped and the light hadn't turned green yet. And this woman just rear ends me. It was like light, but I was so mad. I got out and
This was the first one or the second one?
this is the second one.
So it's
And-
already damaged.
Yeah. So how can I tell the difference between the damage?
Right.
So she hits me and then I'm like, because we're standing there, it's rush hour, like
Right.
everybody's there.
Yeah.
So I point over at the parking lot, we pull in and I look at it. There's like a teeny little scratch on the bumper. That is, I know is from her. The rest of it's the stuff that was from the other one.
They're going to replace the bumper anyways
Right.
for the other
So
one.
I said, it's fine. Like, I get it. It's no big deal. She's like, oh, my foot slipped off the pedal because it had just rained
Yeah,
and
yeah,
she was
yeah.
wearing these new shoes. And she was this nice,
had a story.
she was a nice apostolic lady. Like,
Yeah.
it's not like, whatever.
How
So-
do you know she's apostolic?
She had jean shorts on? Or jean skirt?
She had a jean skirt on.
Jean
and her
skirt.
hair
She
was
wouldn't
all
be
up in
wearing
a-
shorts.
Yeah, I meant skirt, not jean
Yeah.
shorts.
Anyway, I felt bad for her. Like, she was being super nice and she wrote all her info
Sure.
down. But anyway, so twice,
Lucky day for
twice
her.
in a week.
Yeah.
That
Where was the
lucky.
first one at?
it was-
Knoxville.
Yeah, it was. I was turning from War Memorial right onto Knoxville to go north.
Yeah? That's a weird place to get hit.
I was going to turn right, and I stopped, and it was red.
Right.
So I'm waiting for the cars to come.
Yeah, from...
Yeah, and this
Yeah.
woman behind me comes up to the left of me in the turn lane that is a one-lane turn
Yeah,
lane. She's not looking at me. She's looking to the left,
and she decides there's an opening. I'm gonna go.
At first, I was like, "This lady's nuts. What is she doing?" Like, obviously,
Yeah.
she's not going to keep going.
She thought you were parked or didn't see you, I guess.
And she just came up, and then she started to go when there was cars coming. Like, you should not have gone anyway. And then she just ran right into me, and she kept going. So it scraped all the way up, and it rolled over the side panel, like so that they had to replace the whole side panel in the car.
Yeah.
Instead of just like undenting it.
Yeah. Interesting.
It was lame.
I was wondering why you were rolling around in a Corolla the other day.
Yeah. I'm sick of it. I
She
hate
shouldn't
that
be
car.
driving.
Which car?
The Corolla.
I
Yeah.
like.
It's a
They're
2017 Toyota Corolla. It should be a nice car.
It's not.
I feel like I'm driving a crappy go-kart.
Yep.
Like it's the backup camera.
The backup
is like
camera
the worst.
doesn't work at all. It's like all. It's like full of static. Though it's like
Yeah,
you
it's
can't
the most
see
out of
at
focus
all.
garbage camera I've ever seen in my life.
It turns on and it looks like it's like equipment that somebody would use to search for a ghost or something. Like it's like,
Yeah, it's so grainy, and it's just the whole car feels cheap.
Yeah. They're
Everything
cheap.
about it is crappy, but it's not a cheap car.
Yeah, they are. Corollas are pretty cheap. You can get a base Corolla for 18,
Yeah,
17,000.
That's not necessarily
That's cheap today. The cheapest car you can buy is like 14,000, like a Versa where the doors don't even open.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't car shopped for a new car in a long
Cars
time.
are more expensive than the last time you bought anything remotely close to a new car.
But it's for 18 grand. I would expect to get something that didn't suck.
It sucks.
Okay, whatever. I'll never buy a Toyota.
It's not that Toyota's bad. It's just that version of that car is a stripped down car.
I'll never buy one. I'm gonna buy a Honda. I'm gonna buy a Civic.
You should, in a year, you should buy my Honda Accord.
I don't want your Honda Accord.
why are you selling it in a year?
I leased it, so it's not mine. I'm just giving it back to them next year.
I see.
I'm gonna maybe I'll get a. I don't know. I've had my eye on a Tesla.
They're too expensive,
They are, but
and there's no charging stations nearby. And the nearest authorized repair facility is in the suburbs.
I don't care.
Well, you'll care the first time you have a problem.
I won't have a problem.
You
It's a
will.
Tesla,
Go look online. Everyone has problems.
but it drives itself,
It
And I
doesn't drive itself.
and I would get all of the. I
has
already priced
autopilot.
one out. I already priced one out, so like to get all the extra sensors and everything, and it gets software updates. That's the part I like the best.
Oh man,
It's so
software
cool.
updates.
It's like it constantly improves, and it has CarPlay in it.
Oh, CarPlay?
Yeah,
That's a reason to spend 80 grand. Because you can't just add CarPlay to any car by just upgrading the radio.
can I do that on my Focus? I can't think of
Yes.
even where it would go.
You replace the... Yes,
if
you
saw
can.
my Focus,
You have a 1U DIN radio in it. You can get a 1U radio that has CarPlay. The screen slides out and then flips up.
oh,
Pioneer's got them. They're available. They're like $200-300.
they're not that cheap.
They are.
Well, then I get me one.
Are you going to edit this out?
This is good.
No, this is
good
awesome
conversation.
content. Everybody loves this.
Okay.
Fine, we'll end this. We really do have to go. May the force be with you.
May the force be with you.
May the force be with you.
Did you hear that? We're doomed.
This podcast is a part of the BenView Network.
You can find this and other podcasts like it at benviewnetwork.com.